Who the hell approved that and why weren't they fired? Okay, so you're telling me SpongeBob gets high on meth, how the Bikini Bottom is set on fire, and SpongeBob begins committing several hate crimes until he's eaten by an Alaskan bullworm?
Oh, and it's time for the world to be set on fire.
Damn, sign me up for that! I mean, like, this game is officially the weirdest SpongeBob game. Created from the Krusty Krab, the game where old Spongy Cubicle Pants fights a creature from the Krusty Krab. Now how's that for a synopsis? In reality, it's about some dreams SpongeBob, Patrick, and Plankton are having, and honestly, can we talk about how absolutely fucking insane this game is? This game was made coming from fucking, yeah, last camera pants, but before that we had the movie game and Battle from Bikini Bottom. And yeah, you've got your Kelp Forest, and your Marmalade, and your Bubble Blowing Baby Hunt, and your Planktopolis, and all of a sudden, boom, welcome to Mad Max! So half of this game is your regular SpongeBob platforming, with tutorials of the wazoo, and the other half either Gajika style are coming up short. I mean, look at this garbage. It's kind of weird because it's one of those games that have the potential to be abnormally good, but then it's executed in a way that removes the "ly good" part of that sentence, and then you get this. That's not me recording the game wrong, by the way. That's actually just the amount of bloom they decided to go with. Next-gen graphics, I'm telling you. Bloom used to be what reflections are now to good graphics. More reflections doesn't mean good graphics, damn it. Why does the grass look like concrete? By the way, did you know there's a big red button which you can click to make me happy? Just look at this video's quality. I'm not even getting paid and I still put more effort into these videos than most. But okay, let's talk about this game's story and gameplay, because it's pretty unique and it wants a little talking about so you get a full context in this game if you haven't played it or remember too little of it. This game starts off with SpongeBob sleepy. He does some creepy stuff with his hands. Now his bed is a car and off he goes to blow up half of Bikini Bottom. This game has like 5 different types of gameplay. Kind of a trend that SpongeBob games started to have around 2006 in Split's game, the minds behind Glover and like 50% of the licensed games you play, like the Variant Pattern ones, or the Lilo and Stitch one, or the iCarly one, or the Bratz one, or somehow Epic Mickey 2. Whatever, these guys, Blitz Games, they were forced with making the SpongeBob games at this time, and since SpongeBob was a very moldable franchise, it led to the development teams being able to produce some of the craziest and most original things. And the first of these gameplay styles is... underwhelming racing, I guess? You can accelerate and steer, and you never actually race against anyone. Even with their opponents, they only minorly inconvenience you, and it's still in a time trial format. And even though the racetracks are very fun to look at as set pieces, the gameplay is lackluster at best. Was it so hard to add drifting? I mean, like, drafting is there, but it actually slows you down, so what's the point? I noticed the dialogue here is very funny if a little repetitive. And also, one of him SpongeBob said, "Hot dog, daddy-o!"
Hot dog, daddy-o!
So after about 3 minutes of racing Focal, you actually get to the second gameplay style, which is traditional SpongeBob platforming, aka the fun one. You get to jump, rush, attack 2 of the 4 types of enemies in this game, do boring ass puzzles and... hold on, is that Mrs. Puff in a tight catsuit? Yep! They went there and I don't really mind, surprisingly. For as much as I shout on the gameplay here, it actually gets incredibly fun when there's no fluff. Why wasn't more of the game this? Not to spoil anything, but there's only 3.5 levels in this gameplay style, which is a shame given how if this game focused on platforming levels and actually added more moves to the gameplay style, it could have been regarded as well as Battle for Bikini Bottom, but more on this later. Regardless, unlike Battle for Bikini Bottom, this game has linear nature, meaning they intertwine minigames and gameplay styles between segments. So you go from boring racing to platforming to "oh god, what happened to Patrick? Should I call 911?" to good platforming to more boring racing to more good platforming to more platforming, and then oh my god, they turned Gary into a bike! At least, all of this is topped by what might be the single best musical composition in SpongeBob. Period. I mean seriously, please look up Diesel Dreaming after this video. Essentially, the first 4 levels of this game are pretty good if a little long. Actually, well, only 3 of them stick to this gameplay style, and well, they get a little variation every now and then, like for example, level 3 has a different gameplay style. Most of the game, however, is this platforming. The later levels are all gimmicks and no substance. Like, for example, after SpongeBob falls into a hole while racing, you go into level 2, which is this very cool comic book land where Patrick does some superhero stuff in this platforming style. And let me tell you, Patrick's voice actor, Big Flapjack, went ham voicing Patrick in this game. Like, level 2 has all the characters be Patrick, so that means he gets to voice 12 different versions of Patrick. One of my favorites has got to be the creepy ass Patrick from level 1. Just listen to this mad lad.
Prepare for automotive annihilation, SpongeBob! Look at me go, SpongeBob! Eat my sand! I'm gonna beat you, SpongeBob!
I like level 2 graphically, it's very creative and entertaining to look at, plus a lot of the jokes are fun and the enemies have an amazing concept. Even if this level is the one that shows you how bland the combat actually is because it consists of spamming the square button. That said, Patrick's animations are really good, like really good. Level 3 changes the gameplay style again to a new style, a 2.5D platformer.
A giant
It's very standard. Jump, shoot, freeze rate, don't understand shit about how the bouncing mechanics work on these crabs that look like Mr. Krabs while Mr. Krabs is nowhere to be found cause fittingly, his voice actor is a greedy twat. This level is the only of its kind, but it's fun, even if it's a little more boring than the 3D platforming. They did a good job at imagining some of these Bikini Bottom environments, I suppose. If the textures were a little bit more saturated, it'd be cool. I guess I don't like the minigame between segments, it's boring and repetitive and confusing and overall just makes the level last longer than it should. Level 4 brings us back to Spongy. After he does Sonic falling before Sonic did it, he gets eaten by an Alaskan worm that was not a joke. This level drags on for way too long. I think 1/5 of the game is just this level alone, and it's a shame because this level could have been much better if it had been a normal open world level, and it would have remained fun instead of dragging on. Plus, the visual design is really cool. Jabbo Jabbo's belly or Clanker's insect can absolutely suck into this level and its usage of greens and pinks to create this acid and radioactive environment. There's this weird effect that makes everything look like it's moving, and that's actually kinda cool. Actually, this level is great at pointing out the issues with the platforming segments. If they had focused on this by bringing more of the mechanics from Battle for Bikini Bottom, it could have shined for realsies. Instead, you just get annoyed with the linearity. This level suffers from having too many tutorials. I mean, yeah, sure, all the levels in this game do, but this one specifically more. Because everything is a tutorial, everything stops you to go, hey, look at this thing you just did, and it really messes the flow. Shut up and let me play, I'm a grown money boy and I get to do whatever I want! Which yeah, this game is very fucking easy. There may be a few problematic segments, but I rarely die despite just kinda sucking at games. In general. By this point in the video and game then, you've already seen all the problems with the gameplay, and I still think this part of the game is the better one, mostly because these first 4 levels last about 4 hours, while the next 5 levels last maybe 2 hours. You don't get any real platforming levels, so what are you left with? Gameplay style 4. Auto-scrolling plane where it's actually kinda hard to die. Admittedly, yeah, this one's footage was butchered by me, but it's still a boring auto-scroller level. The space setting is just very unoriginal compared to the last Patrick level. I really don't know what happened here. This is just boring, easy, confusing, fucking awful, and yet there's 3 levels in this style. Ugh, get the shit on my face. Gameplay style 5 is right on the next level. You play as a giant, very slow plankton. It's short and interesting, I guess. It has a tricky part with the turrets, but in all honesty, the lack of combos and the irresponsiveness makes this one annoying to play. I do like this part though.
Yes, how deliciously exciting. I shall render more destruction to the patrons of that drive-in movie theater.
Ticket, please.
I'm a 50-foot atomic-powered plankton!
You still need a ticket.
Confound you! With your ticket booth and your unbending rules!
The level has some cool ass set pieces, and I think I like the theme despite how reflective Plankton looks like. What are you made of, glass? And by the way, can you please praise me in the comments for doing this one on the minigame? Even though I almost never play with a PlayStation controller, I'm actually using a Switch Pro controller knockoff for this one, I mean. Next level, you finally get to see the dreams come together with the stupid plane stuff again. These stone warnings actually get me hit more often than not. Ugh, get the shit on my face. I guess I like this joke here.
Hold up your hats! If you don't have a hat, get one.
In level 8, you get the platforming gameplay style. Look, it's reminding you the thing it already told you 3 times before. And guess what? You do not platforming. Don't get me wrong, this is still more fun than the plane grab, but it's all combat. As I said, super bland. For some reason, it took the game until this level to pop up this indicator, which is really important and you'll see why later. I also guess this is a boss battle where you actually do take out the creature from Bikini Bottom, so that's dandy, but not the space type. Actually,
White space. Welcome to the last level. I'm gonna need your soul and all the cash within your wallet right now.
this game wraps up in a neat bow with more racing levels. Turns out all of these dreams are happening because they all ate a Krabby Patty. Anyways, can you spawn Plankton in this image? That's right, he's being fucking covered by the bloom. Hypnotic Highway, I really like this level, just look at it. Now look at it again in this 4K video of it I found on YouTube which has no bloom. Again, I really like this level. The shiny colors, the neon lights, it's all dreamlike and creepy. Look at these creatures, they're so cool. Look at this boat, that's so nice. It's a shame that this is a race level. And it starts with a screen.
Excuse me, good sir. You need 100% completion to play most of the last level.
What? Yeah, there's 27 dream seeds hidden throughout the game per character. That would be like 50, I don't know, I didn't write the math on the script. And you need all of them to play as a character in the last level. Which means that if you missed one while playing the 80 minutes of Alaskan Belly Worm Trouble, you have to play them all over again. You know what the issue here actually is? Yeah, that little indicator I mentioned a few minutes back is actually telling you to look for nearby dream seeds. It's just not enabled by default. Why? You have to unlock it through the extras menu. Worse yet, it doesn't even tell you how many there are in your first playthrough unless you collect one, and if you miss one, it doesn't tell you where the one you missed is. Why? So after you miss a dream seed in Rocket Rodeo again, you look up the cheat codes and use that to just unlock everything, because why would you give a shit? Code is gutless, it lets you play all the other characters on the last level, and Patrick is a shit level. It's a shit level. Oh, get the shit on my face. Plankton has you fake racing again on a slightly colored track. You go through a mouth! And the butt! Each character has its own ending, but they are all bad. SpongeBob turns into Gravity, but not like, you know, in that one episode, you know which one. Patrick has a party for some reason, he just has a party. Anyways, he's japed by a Krabby Patty. Plankton gets clouded with a chance of meatballs. I didn't think of that one, did I? It's all just the fault of capitalism for not being viable because of... Hold on, that's for another video. If you beat all the endings or not, I'm not sure. It's finally revealed that only Gary ate the Krabby Patty and had all the dreams at the same time in a deception type thing. I like this ending, even if it's a little, well... You look at how it ends. Bottom line is, 2 words, but also, this game has so much potential wasted. It's not a failure, no, this is a fucking tragedy. So this game has a bunch of extras. It's got, for example, these costumes which are really cool, but the way you unlock them is by going to the extras menu, and then the extras menu goes like, hey, you need to put this code in to unlock the outfit. So you go to the cheat codes menu, and you unlock the outfits by painstakingly inputting the code, which is just too fucking roundabout. One of the extras is concept art, and it just clears up so many things. You know those creepy ass designs? Yeah, these designs are actually inspired by Edward's art, and it looks awful and disturbing in game, but the actual concept art is just kinda cool. My question here is, why move to 3D with this design and not this earlier design? This wouldn't traumatize children. This would. I mean, just look at some of this concept art. They really did fucking have neat and creative ideas. Look at this base level art. It's so vibrant, so fictional, so David Bowie. It's not just a space place. Look at this intended color palette for the stupid SpongeBob plane level. The contrast between the reds and the greens and these unique looking bikini bottom set pieces. I mean, like, remember that shit set piece from Hypnotic Highway? Yeah, it had these guys here. I mean, I really like them. God, how long did it even take to make this game? Let's see. The pitch is from May 6, 2005, the game released on October 16, 2006, the next game released on October 2007. Holy shit, was this game made in a year while another game was in the making? Well, that explains a bunch of things. For starters, it makes complete sense that there's a huge decline in quality as the game goes on. Don't give them the player freedom and believe me, they won't run into bugs. God fucking damn it, who do I have to blame for this one? Oh, Atlantis Square Panties, what a disgusting name. I actually played this game too back in the day. It was mostly trash. But this shit had to release with a special, which began its production basically a year after Creator from the Krusty Krab speech. Which means they couldn't have begun working on this on November 2006, there's just no way. My bet is that the game's production began almost alongside with the episodes, which is May 2006. Which means about half of Creator from the Krusty Krab was developed along with Atlantis Square Grows. That's just infuriating. Replacing a potentially good game with a stupid promotion is just annoying and stupid, and it just makes me feel like remaking this game. You know what? That's it! I'm a game developer when I'm not making videos, so I'm not gonna do it because I don't have the time, but let's assume I did and talk about it for this next segment. How could you make this game right? First off, open the goddamn world. Like Diesel Dreaming, Patrick Man, and Alaskan Belly Worm Trouble are basically already open world, but only progressible through linearity. At the same teleport to spatula feature from Battle for Bikini Bottom, and boom! Levels 3 and 6 are already segmented by parts, each one is a spatula. Next, added another 3 levels for platforming which can be appended to the existing levels. Like this, a short space level goes appended to level 5 with 4 spatulas, and that completes the ship segments to 7 spatulas. We do the same with Destroyed Bikini Bottom by creating an in-between segments for level 8, and then we join level 7 and 8 into a single level. Finally, we expand Hypnotic Highway into its own level with 6 spatulas plus 3 racing ones, where you'd only need 20 out of 26 dream seeds to play the characters red, or, a certain not 100% amount. Some of these improvements that I'm just saying would improve the game tenfold simply by existing. Say, the open world nature would allow players to change levels at any point, and then the long levels wouldn't feel as long because, again, players could just switch. Next, we have new types of enemies. Let's say floating enemies to kill with a bubble rocket thingy from Battle for Bikini Bottom, or let's create some sort of ranged attacks, and let's say, enemies that are only defeatable through the circle bottom move, which are Noodle Arms for SpongeBob and Blowing for Patrick. These dogs in Patrick Man, yeah, they could move. Next, let's remove all the repeated tutorials if a player has disabled tutorials in the options menu, and have the extra costumes directly unlocked without cheat codes. I just made this game 60% better without asking for too many assets. What would it be? 12 new enemies with 2 modified behaviors from pre-existing enemies in the game, and reusage of assets using Rocket Rodeo, It Came from Bikini Bottom, and Hypnotic Highway? I mean, still extra work, but if you get anything over 8 months of development, you're probably already going to make a better product than the original game. You'd get to abuse the idea seen in the concept art and bring out the game's potential for real. I don't know, maybe make the hot rod designs a little less disturbing, and that's that. The takeaway from this video is, don't make a game in a year, because otherwise you screw up incredible potential and you get this shit, which isn't bad, but it could have been much better. Oh, by the way, remember that I talked about listening to Diesel Dreaming? Yeah, I linked it up there, so you can go check it out now that the video is over. And, that's also a video with me. It's a very smart, come on, it's a very smart plug.